Hey there, it's Ben from patternprofits.net bringing you the weekly watch list. Friday, we got a little peekaboo candle here on IWO. This is our proxy for small cap growth, right up against a volume shelf and point of control there. Looking for that to push through. You have year-to-date anchored VWAP and anchored VWAP off of the high right there. Tried to push through early in the session, but reversed lower later in the day. So looking for that to make progress, push through there and come up here and challenge that 316 to 319 level again. I am encouraged because if we look around, FFTY, another proxy for growth that I look at, came out of the triangle, was able to push through again, a red candle on Friday, but did push through last week back above volume shelf point of control. And if we look at PDP, which is the momentum ETF, right there up against prior highs. So I am encouraged. And if we look at the CPC, we've got up near those highs, 0.95. It's just very encouraging to see the major averages up near the highs. Growth finally, especially small cap growth, starting to participate a little bit. And hopefully that sentiment stays bearish as they trigger and start to get some upside on the small caps. Getting into our watch list, Square at the top of the list this week, SQ, 283.19 pivot, inside day here to work with. Maybe this needs to flag out a little bit more. Good volume as you see, 283.19. Like I said, the level to watch. Would not mind a few more days of a handle here before it pushes through, but should be on your radar. Also, MP. Gold and silver hit pretty hard on Friday, looking for a bottom there. This doesn't tend to run directly correlated to those, but it wouldn't hurt if the metals are firming up. It tried to push through and clear that 38.98 pivot. Started out strong early, rolled back over late. You're just above cloud support. You're just above volume shelf point of control. You're also just above anchored VWAP from year to date, which is a red line, as well as off of the highs there. So looking for that to maybe go inside day here again, or just consolidate here before giving another shot at the breakout. You have earnings out of the way now, 51.77, a prior target we can look for up above if indeed it's able to get back above pivot. Another one, this one's a little thin, but I do think it's worth keeping an eye on. I get asked all the time, velocity scan, what does that mean? I missed the move. No, velocity scan back here, this is the move that puts it on the radar. It brings your attention to it. But this over here is the move that you want to participate in. You do not want to chase them up like this. You wait for the base. You wait for the consolidation. Cleared the descending trend line last week. Good day on Friday. You now have 22.77 pivot here. And then the high at 24.17 just above. So watch for continuation there. Also have, just remember with that one, size it appropriately because it trades a little bit thin. PayC, 471.08 pivot. Nice run post EPS. Just looking for that to, maybe it comes up here, tags, flags out a little bit, or maybe it just keeps going, pushes right through. Huge volume down here. That's what we like to see as they climb the right side. So watch that 471.08 pivot on PayC. I don't trade biotech, but the group has been hot. Myriad Genetics, one you may want to keep an eye on, 33.97 pivot, big base, had a nice breakout, good volume up the right side, and now has come back just above pivot. Maybe this comes in a little bit more. Retest, wait for the moving average cloud to catch up, and then watch for that one to make the turn. I also have PRTS. This is another old friend from the velocity scan back here, put it on our radar, has consolidated. You have a cup and handle pattern here. 2067 was the high from the power earnings gap here. Little lower there, you have a pivot of 2050 for the handle. So good numbers on this one. Watching for that one to take out the peg day high. That would also coincide with a breakout of that 2067 pivot on the cup with handle. And getting into more peg names, some of these we had last week as well. Still watching Snap, waiting for this one. What we have, you have the flag here came out, looked good Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday rolled back over, was not able to take out that high, which would have helped. But now you're right at anchored VWAP from off the peg. This prior pivot, 73.59, held as support, as well as anchored VWAP from the prior low. So looking for that one to hold this level and then push through that prior high. Again, 79.18, the level to watch there. All of these next few from the power earnings gap list. Skechers is right there at anchored VWAP from the power earnings gap. 53.14 was a prior pivot and held. Looking for that one to push upside, make the turn, and then take out these highs over here up near 56. So also FFIV, F5 Networks, power earnings gap did well, gapped again last week. Kind of consolidating here, maybe flagging out, putting in a handle just below pivot, 216.15, the level to watch above. This nice, a bit sloppy because of all the gaps, but it is a double bottom pattern looking for a breakout there. TPX, this is one we talked about last week. It did indeed play out as a better short candidate than long candidate. You're now right there at anchored VWAP. If that holds and it turns up, you can look for that push to the upside through 43.98. Just be aware of that ascending trend line up there. On the other hand, if this level fails, you may have a good move to the downside that you can capture either on the short side or with puts. So just reacting to the action there. Dexcom, another one watching. Power earnings gap, anchored VWAP from the power earnings gap has held as support. The high there, 124.31, tried to push through, couldn't, rolled back over. We'll see if that gives it another shot into new highs. May just be waiting for cloud to catch up, but anchor VWAP holding there nicely as support. That's the way we usually like to see them act. I also have Datadog. Talked about this one last week. Inside day here, power earnings gap was on monster volume. Great numbers coming out of a big base cup pattern. Inside day gets confirmed to the upside. 135.38 is your pivot above. That's your high from the peg day. So watching there, did close above anchored VWAP. So just one that I certainly do not want to miss. There are a few from last week's watch list you may want to keep an eye on. INT, Crowd, CPRI, SPRT, AgFi, AGFY, all of those from last week's video and list still valid. So you may want to check those out, add them to the watch list. Anything else comes up during the week, I will share it over on FinTwit. I hope you guys have a great trading week, and I will see you over on FinTwit.